Uh, Presenting today's session is Matapelo Sihume, and I'm facilitating with my colleague Ukwintre Sifala, and we have a team from the office as well who's joined the session. We've got Upindi, who will be fielding all the questions in both the WhatsApp group and the chat group here in Teams. We've got Uhlengi, who will assist with questions we may have on the ground. We've also got Uzods, who will be assisting Upindi with fielding some of the questions. So we've decided to theme today's session digital tools for optimizing knowledge dimensions. And I think we saw it fit that we called, or rather we look at using different tools for knowledge dimensions, seeing that we've learned a range of skills about using Teams. We've learned how to incorporate applications. However, what we haven't done in detail is looking at tools and how we can use the tools to tackle the issue around knowledge dimensions. Right. So today's session, rather today's mission, we will take some time to describe Webb's depth of knowledge. We will learn about digital tools for optimizing knowledge dimensions, as I said earlier. And then we will also look at designing learning experiences using engaging tools. So the session is split into two sections. The first part, as per all the other sessions that we've had, the first part of the session will be a lot of theory, and then the second part will be using the theory that we've learned and seeing how we can use the tools along with the theory, which informs us about the usage of the tools. Right. So when we look at Webb's depth of knowledge, we're looking at a frame of reference, right? And what this frame of reference does is it's a way of categorizing tasks based on complexity of thoughts that they provoke, right? And what it does as well is it maps out tasks that teachers give to learners and organizes them into levels based on their cognition posed by each method. So what we're working with when we're working with Webb's depth of knowledge, we're looking at a frame of reference that sort of informs us about the levels of cognitive thinking skills. And then it sort of directs us. And when you look at the screen currently, it shows us the different building blocks of where we start in terms of teaching and learning and how we build from doc 1, doc 2, all the way to doc 5. And what the doc basically means is the depth of knowledge. And when we look at depth of knowledge level 1, or level 1 as others would say it, we're looking at recalling and reproduction. So when a teacher is creating a lesson on level 1, what they are trying to do is they are trying to get learners to respond to questions such as who, what, where, and when. So it's just basically recalling and reproduction. And when we move to doc 2 or level 2, we're looking at the skills concepts, so the basic application of skills and concepts. And a teacher who's creating a lesson around doc 2 or level 2 is looking for learners to answer the following question: how did it happen? Why did it happen? How does it happen? And why it works that way. So it's moving from a skill of recollection to applying that skill of recollection. And then Doc 3 is around strategic thinking. And Doc 3, when a teacher creates work around Doc 3, they're looking at how can you use it, why can you use it, what is the cause, what if. So it's a higher level of thinking, and it requires the learner to think much more deeper. The last doc speaks to complex thinking skills, or as others would say it, extended thinking skills. So we're looking at what is the impact. So the learner needs to look within themselves and think much more deeper than the basic recollection or the basic application. Right. So if we remember, when we set the foundation of all the training of the training sessions that we've had, I think we referred a lot to Bloom's taxonomy, where we were looking at how learners learn using Bloom's taxonomy. And if we recall, we also identified that at the foundation of the learning, it's the basic remembering, understanding, applying, and it's almost like having building blocks. It's having building blocks that lead towards a learner who's got more complex thinking skills. And this is where you answer, can a learner create or being an innovative learner? And when you put the two together, when you match the two, when you look at Bloom's taxonomy or Webb's depth of knowledge, you realize that the two actually work perfectly together, and they speak a similar language. You can't use in fact, you can use the other one in isolation, but you won't lose the essence of what it means. Right. So when we started, we spoke about Doc 1, and in Doc 1, we identified that Doc 1 speaks to routine thinking, and routine thinking speaks of our teachers building activities or tasks that speak to arranging, calculating, naming, repeat, matching, listing. So those are all the activities that fall under Doc level 1, or rather depth of knowledge 1. And then when we look at depth of knowledge 2, we're looking at comparing, classifying, measuring. So these are all the tasks that a teacher can put together in depth of knowledge level 2. When we look at Doc of knowledge level 3, we're looking at a more strategic reasoning type of learner. So when a teacher is creating lessons around Doc or intended to be on Doc level 3, they are looking for learners to assess, to compare, to construct, to revise, to investigate. And lastly, when a teacher is looking at creating lesson on depth of knowledge level 4 or extended reasoning, they're looking at learners designing, proving, applying concepts, creating, and analyzing. So in essence, what are we trying to say? What we're trying to say is that these are the frameworks that sort of push our teaching and learning styles from being that of passive learning to active learning. So we're moving teaching away from the teacher being at the center of the lesson, where they deliver the lesson and the learners are meant to be receiving like sponges, grasping all this information that's shared. And we are moving towards a more active learning type of style, where learners are actively involved in their learning. What we're going to do now is I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and we're going to look at different applications. And then we're going to look at how these applications can be used in the different levels. And when I say in the different levels, I mean in Doc 1 or level 1, Doc 2, all the way to Doc 4. These applications that we'll be sharing with you are not limited to the level that we'll be demonstrating currently. So in the event that we demo an application in level 1, it does not mean that the application is limited to level 1. However, how you use the application is important because that's what will drive the level in which you're using the application. Right, for level 1, we remember this is the level where learners need to list, they need to identify, memorize. They're not using any depth in terms of their thinking capacity. Right, Quinn, I'm going to stop sharing my screen, and I'm going to ask you to take us through the different applications that we're going to learn about today.
All right. Thank you so much for that session, Matapelo. Like Matapelo has said, I will be taking you through applications or tools that you could use for the different levels. Like the first level, like we've said, is routine thinking. So which does not really need a student to figure out or solve any problem, but rather, like we've stated before, maybe list or match or state a specific point. So the tool that we'll be looking at is Padlet. So Padlet is like a cousin to Jamboard, but because we've touched on Jamboard a couple of times, we will be looking at Padlet today. So Padlet is also like an interaction collaboration space where teachers can use it to introduce a topic or to brainstorm on an idea or interact with the class during a session. So I'll just take you through on how to sign up or log into Padlet and how to use it. Right, so this is Padlet, one of the Padlet activities I'd like you to do. So we will share the link into our WhatsApp group for easy access to the link. How do you get to Padlet? So you go to padlet.com. And this is what you get, a very beautiful site at that, easy to use and to maneuver around. So when you get here, you have an option to sign up for free. And when you sign up, I've already signed up, so it might not allow me to sign up again. However, you can sign up with Google, you can sign up with Microsoft, as well as with Apple. But because I have an account, I will not sign up, but this is the spot where you sign up. I'd rather log in. So I will log in with my work account. Hopefully I still remember my password. Hopefully. Okay, connectivity is a bit slow. Please do forgive me for that. Right, it's still not working on my favor. Let's just try another method. Okay, it's a bit slow. Give me a second. I'll be in just now. Right. So welcome to my Padlet space. So with the free version of Padlet, it allows us to have access to a maximum of, it says 3 Padlet, but we're able to use a maximum of 5 to 6 Padlet. You could use it for different, you can repurpose it by just editing the content in it. So how do you make a Padlet? So to make a Padlet, once you've logged in, you'll click on Make a Padlet. And then from here, you'll choose any Padlet space or layout that you like. We will choose grid so that every collaboration is in a box-like arrangement. And then from there, you write your introduction topic or what you want the students to do. For example, you'll say list precautions, spelling will kill me. We'll fix that. Take during COVID or for COVID or that. And then once you've done that, you'll also write the description that you want. If you have one, if you don't, it's okay. And then from there, you will set your settings where you will want your students, when they contribute their thoughts or they list the precautions so that their names can appear, you'll display the author's name. And also you allow students to make comments to their fellow students, as well as you can also grade them or allow students to grade them as well. So you can go to reaction. And then you can choose either they like the post, they vote, or they give it a star or grade it. So for now, we'll just give it a heart. And then from there, you can request approval. For example, if you feel you want to read your students' comments first or your students' post first, you could select to require for approval. And also you can filter profanity so that if there's any student who uses bad words, it can filter that with a nice emoji, for instance. Right, this is just a quick example of how to create a Padlet. So now, how do students interact with a Padlet? My connectivity is a bit bad. Forgive me for that. So we'll keep saving. We'll go to next. It's a bit slow. And then once you've created your Padlet and you want to share with your students, you will click on share. There's a share button there at the top. And then from there, you could share a link with your students. You could get a QR code. You could embed it in your blog. We're going to talk about a blog from here. You can send it via email, share on Facebook or Twitter if you have a class Facebook group. And also you can share on Google Classroom. And also you can also export your work by saving it as an image, a PDF, an Excel, or a CSV. So now I'll just show you an example of a Padlet that we created earlier on that has interaction. Right, so this is our Doc 1 activity. Like we said, Doc does not require students to figure out or solve. And then the word that mostly stand out here is list the precautions to take to avoid COVID. So now here's a student that has responded and said, wash your hands. Firstly, you could see that the student's name is Quintris. The response is wash your hands. They've included a picture. And while I'm busy reading that, I can see that another student, Matapelo, is saying keep a safe following distance. They can add a picture or so. And then if you want to rate or comment, I can just go below and just comment a nice comment for the students. Or great idea. Maybe if we're brainstorming for a class topic or a class project or so forth, you could rate it 3-star or 4-star, however you want. So this is an example of how a Padlet is. Okay, my internet is a bit slow, but Matapel is adding a picture while we're busy on it. So right, once we've added a picture, so how does it look when you save it as an image or maybe you have done a brainstorming with great ideas and you want to keep it as a PDF or evidence or mark it separately. Like I said, you can go to share and you can save as an image. And this is how it will appear as an image. My internet is a bit slow. And I have a couple of sites open so that we don't struggle. Right. I think this part, Matapelo might need to do it because it's her activity.
Okay. Maybe let me quickly share my screen and see if I can save it in the different formats quickly. And then you can carry on with the next one.
All right. I've stopped sharing.
Okay, thanks, Quinn. Right. So once you have once you have created and all your learners have responded to the Padlet and they've listed everything that you want them to list, you will go to share, right? And then scroll down, and then you will see that it says save as an image, save as a PDF, save as a CSV, and save as Excel. So I'm going to do only 2 of these so that we see how it shows after saving. The one that I'm going to save is save as an image, because maybe sometimes what you want to do is you want to create this type of thing where your learners list, and then you want to create a classroom poster, so you can save it as an image and then print it out for pasting on your wall. I'm hoping that network won't be a disadvantage on my end. Right. So this is how it appears once you've saved it as an image. So, and because it's an image, you're able to then print it out and then use it as you would like to use it. The second one that I personally like is saving it as an Excel sheet. You will click on save as Excel, and then what it will do is it will download it onto your system. It's taking a bit of time because our weather isn't great and connectivity is a great mess, but we'll be a bit patient and hopefully eventually it will open. Right. So it's created it, and this is how it looks once it's saved in Excel. You will see it's got the name of the activity, it's got the description as indicated, and then it's got who has created it, and then it's got the subject, or rather the different responses by your learners. So all your learners in terms of their responses are populated on Excel, and then it says who the author is for every response, and where we've attached pictures or GIFs, it's shared a link on where those GIFs were found. It's got the timestamp. And I think as a teacher, if you're looking to assess this work that you've asked the learners to complete, you will then allocate a mark and just say mark under there. In fact, you enable editing, and then you include mark, and then you look at each one of them and you allocate the different marks, which makes for a much simpler way of creating a mark sheet eventually. Right. So I'm going to stop there, Quinn, for you to move on to our next application.
I see we have a question from Lucas. Lucas, can we take your question at the end of the session? Please do jot it down for us so that you don't forget the question. We'll take it right at the end of the session. We'll start with you. Right. So like we've said, that was our Padlet, which is a great tool to use in terms of collaboration, of interaction. You can explore it and you'll see what it has to offer. It's definitely one of the best. Like we said, it's a cousin to Jamboard. And then in level 2, this is where students need to transform knowledge, or rather process it, before they could respond. And the tool that we thought about that could work with level 2 was Blogger. So in Blogger, we were thinking that students could use Blogger to actually reflect on a learning they have done, or to summarize a specific topic, or rather write an essay in that blogging space. Or maybe if they have a story, or they are an artist student, or a student that really loves stories, they could publish their stories there and share with their fellow students. So for level 2, we thought of Blogger, and just to show you how Blogger works. So with Blogger, I'll close that so that so with Blogger, you go to blogger.com. So this is where you can use it, like I said, for students to just summarize, essay, reflect, intro as well. So how do they create a blog? So you go to bloggers.com and you create a blog. So if you don't have an account, it will direct you to sign up. But if you do, it will direct you to log in. So I will choose my account that I normally use. And then from there, you will see that it's an actually straightforward application or website, where if you want to add a post, you go to new post. And then from there, like if you've asked your students to write you an essay about whatever topics that you have provided to them, they will then write their essay topic. And then from there, they will write their introduction, intro, they will write their body, and conclude. And here they could play around with all the fonts and formats that are available. Also insert pictures and videos if they need to further illustrate a topic and go into plan. So once they have done that, once they have written their summary and they want to publish it, they will click on publish, and then they will confirm. And once they have published it, so that's where it is, Christmas plan. It's a bit dull because I haven't added any picture. And then if they want to share the link to their essay, they'll go where it says permalink, and then they'll select the link to their blog post and share it with you. And from here, you're able to see their blog post. Just to give you a quick example of one that I created while I was just playing around. So this is just a blog post I created a while back. And when you receive the link and open it, and maybe the student has played around it and made it look pretty, it will look something like this, or better. I'm not that much of a creative, but it will look something like this, where you're able to see the topic, the picture, as well as the content below that picture. And that is our blogger. Great. And then we move to level 3. So level 3, we were thinking strategic thinking, so a higher order of thinking, so analyzing, evaluating, develop. And we thought, what is one tool that can help us develop content? And the one tool we thought was actually Blogger can help us analyze and evaluate. Padlet can help us depending on how you use it, like Matapelo has stated. So with level 3, we thought there's 2 tools that we could use. We could podcast, but we thought let us provide you with an opportunity to play around with podcast and see how it works for you. But we will show you a quick play around with Canva because it's quick to use and also it's easier in terms of facilitating it right now. So with level 3, we thought Canva would work. And then this is where you get Canva. So to get Canva, you go to canva.com. And this is my Canva space. I create a whole lot of designs. This is where I create my posters mainly, where they critique them, where they tell me how to change them and so forth. But now, how do students create or develop something? So Canva has a lot of designs. So if you needed a student to develop a marketing tool, for example, if you wanted them to create a poster, a logo, a brochure, business card, they could use Canva. If you wanted them to create a document of some sort, a report, analyzing someone else's essay. So maybe combining all the tools that we've used initially, from ideas on Padlet to writing your analysis on Blogger, and now taking what you have created in your analysis and creating a report on Canva. So that is how you could use or integrate all these 3 tools by using the space as well. So like I said, it has different designs, magazine covers, invoices. I've never used some, but I like it because students can also play around using their or creating their own CVs for if they want to get a job quick. Just the quick show of videos as well as school, and also personal things that they could create. So let me just open one just to show you how it looks. So we'll create a presentation. So this is how it looks when you open your Canva. And when we want our student to create a presentation, you will have different templates of presentations that a student can select. So it will come as a blank page, but you can select literally any template, or rather design your own template while you edit. So we'll just select the first template that is there. And also this template has 16 pages. You can use all 16 pages, or you can select that you want. So we'll just select the first one, and then you can add a page and select the third one and so forth. And you can add the content and edit as you want, and your student can present it. I don't want to present and then we have connectivity issues, but I'm going to give it a shot and just play around it. So we'll just say standard and present. And so when they present, this is how it generally looks when they present to you once they logged on to Canva. Right. So that is how Canva works. You can upload your pictures. You can use pictures from Canva. Please note with Canva, some things are free, some things you pay for. For example, when it's free, it will say free. If it has a crown and says pro, you have to pay for it. You can't download it until you pay for it. You have elements. This is where you can use your shapes. You can add literally a whole lot of things, flowers, search, and so forth. This is where you add different types of texts that are available. You can add your music. Also, please note, some are free, some are not. and also videos as well. So this is how Canva works. You have different options when it comes to downloading the content. You can download it as PDF, you can download it as a high quality image or an MP4 video and so forth. Right, and that is our Canva. Excuse me. And then now we have created, we have brainstormed, we have analyzed, and now we have created a presentation. And now a teacher says, okay, maybe since now you have created what you have done, can you put it in a video or create a video illustrating the concept that you have? So now we go to our level 4 of thinking. So level 4 of thinking, so now we employing or sustaining strategic thinking over a long period of time to solve a problem. This is where we're thinking about designing something or creating or applying. And the tool that we thought could work best for us was YouTube. So now you are creating. So for example, if a student had a topic about load shedding and you wanted them to create about that or take videos, pictures, and so forth, we thought YouTube video could work with regards to that. But we thought YouTube is well known, so everybody knows how to use YouTube. I'll just also demo it shortly, but I want to show you how to use Microsoft Stream. So with Stream, to access it, you go to office.com. Let me just quickly show you. You go to office.com. And then you sign into your account. I'm already signed into my account. And then you go to all your applications. And then from there, you will select Stream. So Stream is where you can share videos with your classes, presentations, and so forth. And then you select Stream. And then from there, this is my stream. So right now we're in a Microsoft Teams session and we're recording the session. So once we're done recording the session, this is where it will land. This is where I find our recording on Microsoft Stream. So now, if you wanted to create content or a student wanted to create content, this is where you play around it. So before we go there, you can go to Discover and you can discover videos that are trending. Right now, my trending videos is a meeting in general. So it's a meeting from the 29th of September. You can check my content. So in my content, we have my videos. So these are videos that were created by me. So either I recorded the video or I uploaded the video. So these are the videos I have created. And then also you'll have your meetings there. But now how do you create for your students? So you'll click on the create sign. But now one thing we've learned is that you can either record your screen or you can have a live session, but you can't really record a video directly on stream. So what you do is you'll have to record your video externally and then upload it on stream. And then from there, edit it and share with your colleagues within, this is where Matapelo will come and correct me, within your, what do you call it? Office 365 package. That's where Matapelo needs to help me out. I tend to confuse it, but that's how it works. So you can record your screen. Okay, Matapelo, you can explain that concept before I lose it.
Okay. So what happens with Microsoft Stream, and I think the reason why we decided to go with Stream instead of YouTube, is that what happens is because we have access to the Office 365 package, Stream then becomes available as part of the package. And because your stream will be built by your school, what happens then is that it creates a closed environment for all the uploads that you have. So in an event where you want your learners to create, and maybe you've given them a subject, and then you've asked them to go out there and look for research, and you've asked that they include their pictures in this research, and that they needed to create their videos, and they needed to show their face for whatever reason. For learners who aren't out there and aren't seeking to be found on social media, or feel rather unsafe to be in a public space, then Stream creates that private environment. And unless the school administrator grants access to an external body, people generally will not have access to the work that your learners create. So it's a space that's safe, for you and your learners to create, and share your videos. You will see that under create, there's also the option of working in channels and in groups. And this is mainly because sometimes you restrict, as far as the particular group. So if you're working with grade 10A and you want them only to see this particular video, or the videos that they create, they need to stay in that particular group, then you create those videos, you ask them to keep them in that group, and only learners who have access to that link will have access to that video or the work that they've created. Right. Thanks, Quinn.
Thank you for that. Great. So I will just quickly show you how to record a screen in Microsoft Stream. It works like any other record stream application. So you'll click on record screen, and then you have to allow your microphone and your camera. I'll not allow that for now. And then you will select the record, start recording, and it will record. It will ask you which screen you want to record. So you can record your entire screen, a window application, or a Chrome tab, depending on what you want to record. And you click record. Also share the audio so that they're able to hear the audio while you record. That's basically how recording your screen works in Microsoft Stream. This is how you could actually use it. Right, like I said, in terms of any other thing, you can either create the live event and collaborate with your students, or they can create a video externally and upload on Microsoft Stream. And if they feel that they want to edit a video and it's too big, or they want to use an alternative application that I was just thinking about now, to edit the video and share, they could use Edpuzzle. So the only disadvantage with Edpuzzle is that once you have uploaded your video, and edited the video, you can't download it and share it. So you'll have to share a link directly from Edpuzzle. However, it works amazing when it comes to your videos. It's easy to use and it's very quick. So the only downfall with it is like any other, slow connectivity, slow as well. So that will be Microsoft Stream. And this is how Edpuzzle works. It's a bit Okay, it's still slow. But this is where you get Edpuzzle. So it's edpuzzle.com, and you just sign up and edit your videos. It's very straightforward. And with YouTube, how do you upload your video? So with YouTube, you log in into your Gmail account, you go to YouTube, just make sure you are signed in, like it should show your name or your face or your logo. It will show us this, we are signed in with SchoolNet Essays account. And then from there, if you want to create or upload a video, you'll go to this video sign with a plus and create. From there, you can either upload a video by dragging and dropping it, or by uploading it directly from your files, or you could also go live. So there are no videos currently on this specific channel because it's for a quick demo, but this is where you could, once there's videos here, you could schedule or you could edit them as well. If you have a live session, it will show here. So we were supposed to have a live session tomorrow, but I will need to postpone it for next week. Do stay tuned for that live session. It's about building your brand and applying for jobs. Please do spread the word. And that is how you basically use your YouTube to create or develop or design anything videoized content.
Right. So we thought, as a last slide to today's session, and seeing that today's session is the last session of the Teams sessions that we had planned, we thought that the last thing that we wanted to share with you is the pedagogy wheel. And the reason behind that is the fact that I think through the series of training sessions, we introduced you to quite a number of applications, and some of us may or may not have access to all these applications. And I think in today's session in particular, we looked at the different applications and sort of spoke through ideas on how you can use the applications in each cognitive skill level to sort of direct how we can use the applications. And I was thinking, it could be quite a challenge for a teacher who's just starting out and isn't sure where to start looking or what to use, because there's so many tools out there. So we thought that we'd include, as part of this training session, the pedagogy wheel, which from the center, when you look at the center, has the Bloom's taxonomy levels. And in each level, as you move outward, it's got the different activities that one can is able to use using particular applications. And the applications you find right at the end of the circle, depending on how you're viewing it. But moving from the center, you have the Bloom's taxonomy, and moving outward, what you have is the different activities that one can do under the different levels. And the next thing that you have are sort of suggested ideas on how you can use the applications that reflect right at the outer end of the pedagogy wheel. And I find that it's quite a useful tool for teachers who firstly are not sure where to start, right? Secondly, I think it's a beautiful wheel for teachers who are constantly looking for different ways in which they can engage their learners using technology and tools or applications. So yeah, we wanted to share with you the wheel as an additional resource. And what I think we'll do is we will include this wheel as part of the slides under the different levels, so that you have it with you at all times and you can refer to it as you grow in your journey of using technology for teaching and learning. I think that's the end from my end. Hlengiwe is part of the group. I don't know if there's something that you would like to share with the team at large.
Hi, Matsapelo. Thank you so much. Great presentation. I don't think I have anything to share from what you have already shared. Perhaps is to highlight what you have already mentioned when you start the session, that the tools that we've shared with everyone, you know, they are just the tools, and what guides the thinking is the type of questions that the teacher uses for that particular task, which determine that level of thinking. So yeah, it's just to actually highlight that that's very important, that the teacher is the one who guides the thinking, as you have mentioned. Thank you so much, Matsapelo and Queen.
Thank you very much. I think Queen would like to announce the giveaway, and then we're going to call it a session. End of the session.
All right. We have a giveaway, like I've been talking about it for the past weeks. And this week is a last week. So I'll be announcing our winner or winners on Monday, the 15th of November. And if you haven't entered for our competition, this is what you have to do. You go onto your own Facebook page and you post a picture or a video of you showing a strategy or technology that you used during lockdown to keep in touch with your learners. This can be in a form of, I'm not going to say. And then in your post, you could write that we used this tool or strategy to share, to connect with our student, hashtag SchoolNet Essay at SchoolNet Essay. And then from there, you go to our SchoolNet Essay page and you follow our page. You click on like and then you click on follow. And then once you've done that, you go to SchoolNet Essay, SchoolNet Teachers Facebook group, and you join it, and I will accept you onto our group. And then maybe you can be our lucky winner who can use a 500 gift voucher to spend during Black Friday that's coming up in a few weeks. Do post, and maybe you could be the winner. It was great having a session with you today. Also take note that there's too many applications out there. Start with what you know and take it easy. Thank you so much and have a lovely evening.